evening, everyone, and welcome. It is now 6 p.m. on February the 3rd, 2025, and the City Council meeting will now come to order. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with gratitude for the city of Bel Air Beach, for its beauty, its people, and the opportunity to serve this community. We ask for your presence in this meeting and for your guidance upon our city leaders. Grant wisdom, understanding, and patience to the members of the City Council as they discuss matters that impact our residents and our future. May their decisions be rooted in integrity, fairness, and a genuine desire to uphold the well-being of all. Help them to listen with open hearts, speak with kindness, and work together with unity and purpose. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Amen. Please rise and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Renee, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Frank Baker.
Present.
Councilmember Todd Harper.
Present.
Councilmember Kim Shaw Elliott.
Present.
Councilmember Jody Shirley.
Here.
Councilmember Anders Wellings.
Here.
Vice Mayor Lloyd Roberts.
Here.
Mayor Dave Gaddis.
Here.
City Manager Kyle Riefler.
Here.
And City Attorney Randy Mora.
Present. Thank you, Renee. Our first order of business is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion is being made by Frank Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
I heard several of them. I'm going to give that one to Jody Shirley. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved. Next, we have presentations from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, beginning with the monthly law enforcement report from a familiar face. He said it out.
Good evening, Council. I'm Sergeant Bolt with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Once again, I'm back again. Tonight, I'm going to present the December monthly analysis for crime statistics in the city of Bel Air Beach. And this is actually a very good report. With all the violent crimes and property crimes, there's actually zero for the month of December. And it looks like year to date, we are down a little bit when it comes to thefts or larcenies and motor vehicle thefts also. So the good thing about this report is these are generally dispatch calls for services. And if you look at the second page when it comes to, although there weren't any of those calls for service that were generated, there were still people that were arrested in December. There's 6 people that were arrested. But looking at the comparison, if you look at these arrests that were made, they were for no valid driver's license, warrant arrests, and are resisting charges. So that points out to me that the deputies are actually going out there doing traffic stops, being proactive, and rather than just responding to calls for service. And that's actually further evidence on the third page, where there's 438 events that occurred in the city of Bel Air Beach, and 522 deputies responded. And the first thing on there was actually traffic stops. So traffic stops and direct patrols and house checks were our main things that we worked on. All right, there weren't any crashes at all in the city in December. And total there were 165 citations in the morning during the city of Bel Air Beach. And it looks like one of the hot spots, I don't want to give away our secrets here, but one of the hot spots is right out here by the City Hall with the folks coming over the bridge. Usually it's probably speeding traffic issues. And everywhere else within the city looks like nothing specific. All right. But that's all I have to report. Is there any questions or concerns for me?
Questions or comments? I only have one. Would you mind bringing a report like this every month?
Oh, yeah, I wish I could. This is a good report for us. Like I said, I think having the deputies go out there and work and have the opportunity to go out and be proactive, that's the best thing we can do. So I'll try to bring it next month. Do the best I can.
Thank you very much. All right, now we've got another familiar face. Code enforcement.
I'm back. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, staff, and citizens. Deputy Klapka for your monthly code enforcement. As you look at the charts, a lot of this was done, basically generated under unpermitted work being done here, along with debris on the side of the roadway or on the right-of-ways. Did clear up a lot of that, still have a few left over. But other than that, no general issues within the city. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Council, any questions, concerns? No? Thank you very much, Eddie.
Have a good evening. Take care.
All right, I do not see the Pinellas Suncoast Fire and Rescue District, so we will just move right on to the city attorney's report. Mr. Mora.
We are monitoring the forthcoming legislative session. As it relates to the special session, the legislature passed some statute concerning immigration law as it relates to state actors, local governments, and law enforcement. Publicly, the governor has stated he intends to veto it or will heavily consider a veto. It's not clear yet how that will proceed. We'll, of course, keep you aware of that and how it may impact the city's operations on an administrative and legal level. Apart from the legislative updates, we are forging ahead with land code revision and review, and you'll be seeing some ordinances in the coming months to that effect. Otherwise, happy to answer any questions or concerns you may have.
Council, any questions for Mr. Mora? No? All right, thank you, Mr. Mora. All right, next is the city manager's report. Mr. Frankfurt.
Thank you, Mayor. So, talk about the SDE reports. We've gotten some more in. We're still probably missing about 20% of the properties that we needed for. But overall, this past month, since our meeting on January 3rd, we've done 72 permits. So they're speeding up, and we're moving them through. And I've also done I think 3 of the multifamily properties, which we need to get a condo authorization form for the entire building on the property, so it's a little bit more involved, but we're working through it. The 12th Street beach access, we did get out there and got a good price to have the rest of the sidewalk finished and a concrete pad poured on the south side of the steps. And I informed the commissioner, the commission of Tom Belair Shore, and requesting that we open that one next, and the mayor just asked if he could pull the commission before we opened it. So they have a meeting, I believe, in the third week of the month, so they might be waiting for that. That's an update. We expect to put a shower back in and then repair the irrigation out there and clean it up some more. The code enforcement, this month we're gonna get back to getting on top of the things that are jumping out when we drive around, as far as some sandbags that are left out on the property or other items that really shouldn't be out on front lawns. We're gonna go to the point of issuing letters so we can try to get back to some normalcy throughout the city. I want to focus on the unsightly things like like I said, the sandbags, any kind of trash items or things that should not be outside on the front property. And then also like the grass and the weeds. We understand that some of the lawns don't really have much grass left, but we do feel that the weeds that are growing need to be cut at a responsible height. So we're going to go around and we're going to start, starting code cases this month to recover. The Golf Boulevard underground project, so we did have a meeting mid-January. Duke did inform me that, they originally said January, but now they're saying February, March. I put March to be safe for phase 1. Phase 2, they did come back because we were back and forth about where the equipment was going to go and if it could go in the county right away. Duke, I guess the higher up management did to say that they will place the equipment in the right of way of Golf Boulevard for the north of Causeway section, but we just need the county's approval. So Mark Porter has reached out to the county with he's a project manager, and they've pretty much said that they are okay with it. So we have to circle back around the Duke to find out if they need anything signed by the city their main concern is that if any of this equipment gets moved in the future for whatever reason, they don't have to incur the cost. The part of the binding agreement that we've signed with Duke when we did Bellevue Estates Island and then the other parts of Golf Boulevard is they already make us sign something saying that if the location of the equipment needs to be moved, that they are not responsible. So I don't know how it changes things, but we just keep pushing it forward so we can get this design complete and move forward with phase 2. For stormwater projects, last week the harbor contractor, they went through and they restored all the right of way. So they laid all the sod that needed to go back. And right now they're focusing on the end of 18th Street, where valve has to go in some lining, and they've also have scheduled with Wind River Environmental, who is going to be doing the lining to repair the pipes. And that's the bulk of what's left with the project is pipe repair. The code review, we had a meeting scheduled on the report. It says February 12th, which is Wednesday, but we couldn't get a quorum that day, so now we're tentatively aiming for February 19th for the next P&Z meeting. And then we had last Monday we had the work session for the pump station, and Gemini Engineering's ordered the locates and the geotechnical studies. So as soon as we have those results, I will get them back to City Council and schedule that to be presented. And I also spoke with Attorney Moore's colleague today, who is going to help me work on developing a code lien reduction procedures that we've talked about. This will be out of Chapter 2, which is the administrative chapter of the code, and we haven't done any other kind of review, so there is some statute language that she wants to update, and then she's going to get us with the correct language to start with adding a section on how a lien reduction takes place, and then council can weigh in on what criteria they want for that reduction. And hopefully we have a President's Day, the third Monday of this month. So if we do have a work session, I'm tentatively looking for February 24th.
One thing I don't like about those late in the month meetings is that we don't really have time to prepare. So if we find something we think is important and it requires Randy's handiwork, we decide on something, it may wind up being 2 months instead of 1. I don't know how everyone else feels, but I prefer to have them earlier after this meeting than closer to the next meeting.
Okay.
If that's possible. So you guys think about it and see if you can come up with some maybe dates that we can reach for. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
I agree with that, and would also ask if there's any way that we can, as best as possible, post an annual calendar, at least as far out as we possibly can, because sometimes I arrange travel around being here, I may not need it, and then risk not being here when I should be. So to the extent that we can post that, and even things that adjust for holidays and things like that, so at least we know in advance.
Regular meetings aren't so hard, it's the work sessions.
That's right.
Constantly juggling around. Yes.
Is there anything that prevents us from having it on that following Tuesday of the President's Day issue, as opposed to moving it and we're able to keep it on Monday?
Well, it's entirely up to this council and the staff. If everyone suggests some dates, and we'll see if we can reach a quorum. All right. Yes, Mr. Bengals.
Okay.
I just wanted to say I got the prices in for the banners we were looking at for the 75th anniversary, and for an order of 50 count, which is more than enough with some replacements, we can get 2 feet by 4 feet for $2,900. So that's $58 per banner and a double-sided, and then we can go up to 2 feet by 5 feet, so 24 by 60 for $3,650. So 73. I think we'll be fine with the 2x5.
Works for me.
Fine, go ahead and order that.
On that 12th Street beach access, is that safe to open right now, or is it still to be done on it?
I believe it's safe to open, and that's why I requested it, but, you know, he asked for us to wait until he could get Paul, the other commission, and I said we'd be standing by.
Not really happy with that answer.
I'm getting along with him very well. I want to rock the boat.
The third, when's their next meeting?
Third Tuesday.
So a couple of weeks.
Yeah. We didn't get their permission for 6th and 19th.
I got a general consensus for 6th, and then I got only a response from the mayor for 19th, but we just went through exactly how I worded it.
He did mention it this past month, but I think they're still working on it. 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, so we brought filled dirt in, compacted it, so all the cavities are filled, the sidewalks replaced, his walls, you know.
I
structures, so-
asked this because I got a question about a couple of residents. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, and I didn't know we went to them for 6th and 19th Street.
And I was trying to open this one as fast as we could, and that's where I ended up.
Appreciate you doing that, by the way.
Yeah. Excellent.
Anything else?
That's all.
Yes.
Kyle, I'd like to ask about the 6th and 19th Street accesses. In particular, I've had a couple of residents asking about there's temporary black fencing around those access points, and residents continue to find those gates closed when they've been told the accesses are open. So they've been manually opening them, but I'm questioning why the fences are there, or how do we keep them open if they are officially open?
I will circle back around to the Falmouth County Sheriff's Office just to make sure that they're opening them. We did had some substitutions that came in, so there was some confusion, but I'll make sure that they know. Thank you.
Just a point. They look like they're closed. There isn't an opening for a car to get in. I don't know if they're just
No, 6th Street was physically closed. The gates were abutted and had to be opened today. So I was
Time?
5:30 time. So,
That's when everybody goes.
yeah, going from Sunset, but they arrive and the black gates are closed, and then they say to themselves, is the access open or is the access closed? And it's not about cars or walking, it's just about what is it?
Sounds like a communication
Yeah.
issue.
That's fine.
The city manager will get this resolved.
Thank you, Kyle.
Anything else, Kyle?
No, thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments for the city manager? All right, let's move on to the city clerk report. Hi, Renee, how you doing?
I have nothing further to report.
Let's see here. Any questions or comments for the city clerk? All right. Next is,
I did that too real quick.
okay.
Parking permits are available now for 2025?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Next, citizen comments. Any citizen would like to address the council about a topic not already on the agenda, you know what to do. Come on up, Mr. Hanson. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, thank you. John Hansick, 22nd Street. Mr. Mayor, Council, an observation and a point of information. If you look behind you, the flags are reversed according to flag protocol and etiquette. Thank you.
No, they're not.
And also, speaking about flags, I'd like to thank the city manager for getting the floodlight on the flagpole out front of City Hall working again. However, if it's on a timer, you need to check your timer. Because sunsets around 6 something, between 6 and 6:30. I know the other night, took the wife to dinner, it was already dark 30, hadn't been illuminated. The other one is, progress on a flag at the Veterans Park, still not illuminated. And the floodlight that would be aimed at it is aimed to the intersection. But I don't think any of the floodlights over there are still working yet. So I'm just curious to know when the flag will be illuminated as etiquette allows, where it requires.
I expect this week. We just pulled the wire from the pedestal to the meter, so we have that powered up. But we expect when we energize that some of those floodlights might need to be replaced. We just have to find out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Transit. Anyone else? All right, citizen comments are now closed. I'm going to skip the city manager follow-up unless you have something to add.
That was it.
All right. Now we're on to the consent agenda, items 9 and 10. This is for approval of the January 6, 2024 City Council meeting minutes and the January 27th, 2020. I said 2024, didn't I? 2025 City Council meeting minutes and the January 27th, 2025 City Council work session minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve is written and submitted.
Motion is made by Frank Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that? There's Todd Harper. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Consent agenda passes. All right. This is the first time I've seen a public hearing section. So this is something new for me. Normally it was just always in the regular agenda. But hey, I like it. It makes perfect sense.
This is the publicly noticed hearing for the ordinance. That's why it's set out separately.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
on second reading.
All right, so this is consideration of ordinance 2025-01. This is the second reading. Mr. Moore, would you please read the ordinance and then once again provide a brief interpretation?
Happily, Mr. Mayor, this is the City of Bel Air Beach ordinance number 2025-01, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, amending the Bel Air Beach Land Development Code, specifically amending section 94-161 governing building specifications and limitations in the RM District 1. Also amending section 94-209 governing building height in the RL District 2, providing for implementation, providing for resolution of conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This has been a second and final reading, ordinance number 2025-01 by title only. As discussed in the upon first reading, this was part of the broader review of the land development code, but a narrow issue that staff sought to prioritize resolving, as several residents may be considering rebuilding and trying to clarify the dimensions and configuration for multi-story structures in the two zoning districts at issue here, explaining the elevations and the like. Otherwise, I defer to anything else the city manager may wish to add.
Mr. Riefler, do you have anything to add?
I just will reiterate that the two changes are, one is the adding the base flood elevation plus 1 foot, and that's compensate for the 1 foot of freeboard that was built into the Florida Building Code. And then the other change is for in the RL district for the ability for a house to have 3 habitable stories, and that is only if the BFE is low enough that the house can be constructed so that it can have 3 habitable stories above the BFE.
All right, thank you, Mr. Riefler. Let's go to the citizens for comments on this ordinance. Would anyone like to speak? All right, citizen comments are now closed. Council, I'm going to need a motion to approve this ordinance.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Todd Harper. Would anyone like to second that?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Roberts. Mr. Harper, you have the floor.
I think the ordinance is self-explanatory in that it does offer the residents of the city an opportunity for flexibility in construction and management of the property, and as long as they're meeting the flood zone codes and the BFE plus 1, I think that it's a good thing for the citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. Do we have any comments from Mr. Welling?
No, no one.
All right. Anyone else? No. All right. Renee, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Banker,
Yes.
Councilmember Harper,
Yes.
Councilmember Elliott,
Yes.
Councilmember Shirley,
Aye.
Councilmember Wellings,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Roberts,
Aye.
and Mayor Gaddis.
Yes. So the ordinance 2025-01 passes unanimously. Thank you you very much for moving forward with our code review. Now we're on to the regular agenda. Item number 12, this is for consideration of budget amendments to increase salaries for the city manager, city clerk, and public works. This was placed on the agenda by City Manager Riefler. Mr. Riefler?
Thank you, Mayor. So this is the proposal to increase, we originally budgeted 5% increase. This would increase the individual budgets, which is the city manager budget, the city clerk budget, and then the public works budget would be for the community services administrator, to all allow a 10% increase. And then the supporting documentation is each one of those personnel accounts that are affected, and how those numbers will change throughout the course of a full year. So what this represents is, this each line item, Social Security, Medicare, retirement contributions for a full year of that full salary. So given that we're partially into the year, it will not reflect that full amount for each line item, but that's what is represented.
Thank you, Mr. Riefler. Before we move forward, would any citizen like to comment on this agenda item? No. Citizen comments are now closed. Council, I'm going to need a motion to approve these budget amendments.
Motion.
Motion is made by Frank Banker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jody Shirley. Mr. Banker, do you have the floor?
I'm 100% in favor of this. Won't bring our city manager, it brings our city manager up to one of the lowest paying city managers, but at least he's within the ballpark now. I believe it will give the city clerk some kind of comfort with other city clerks in the area. We are limited on our resources because we don't have any businesses here, but you guys do a marvelous job, Kyle, and your whole crew. Excellent. I tell you one thing, Renee, I don't know if you ever met Patty Gentry, but I don't think we'd ever replace her. I can't believe you're from Kansas and you learned our laws in a short, you've done like a flawless job.
Thank you.
Amen to you.
Any other comments from the council? No? All right. Renee, let's call the roll.
Councilmember Banker?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Elliott?
Yes.
Councilmember Shirley?
Aye.
Councilmember Wellings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Roberts?
Aye.
And Mayor Gaddis?
Aye. And so the budget amendments pass unanimously, and congratulations to all those that were impacted.
Council, just for your benefit, as this is a budget amendment, the budget is amended in the same manner in which it is adopted. So we'll have a resolution to formally document this at a future meeting.
Sorry for the delay. All right, now we are on to item 13, which is unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? We only had a resolution. We wouldn't have any unfinished business. Next time.
I do see an email that came across that about electrical problems at the marina, and I believe Kyle talked about that, and we're talking about city manager updates. Maybe you can enlighten us a bit. Have we hired an electrician to fix that?
Throughout the day, Aaron's making phone calls. He's trying to get a panel replacement as soon as possible. It's what's going to be needed when our electrician, Yarbrough, who we typically use, came out. They suspected that it was going to have to be replaced. But everybody's been backlogged, so we're probably going to pay a little bit of premium on labor just to get it back up and running, but it needs to be replaced.
Is that going to require a new panel?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to just go ahead and say that it should have already happened before the flood. So I'm kind of glad it didn't, but it was pretty bad off even before the storms came. So last thing we want is somebody getting hurt, right?
Right.
All right. Any other unfinished business? No? All right. Well, let's go to city council comments. We'll start with our remote guy, Onder Welling.
No comments tonight.
Okay. Councilmember Banker.
Sadly, Mr. Mayor, I don't have any comments. I hope you can sleep well tonight.
I just feel like something is missing, you know? All right. let's go to Councilmember Harper.
No comments.
Councilmember Shirley.
I just wanted to, I guess, mirror kind of what Frank was saying about Renee. Thank you for always having our minutes done. This is like a new thing for me to see in my agenda packet that we have all the minutes up to date and everything. You're doing a great job. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, Councilmember Shaw Elliott.
Well, we're going through a huge period of renewal and rebuilding, and I wish everybody well with their plans. I did want to make you aware of a civic event that is coming up. I'm on the Energy Committee for the Sierra Club, and we're going to have a presentation March 18 for any member of the public for how to rebuild sustainably and resiliently. And so we'll have several Bel Air Beach neighbors on the panels, and we'll have a contractor, people that have gone through various stages of rebuilding, representing those that are just restoring what they have, someone who is elevating, someone who is totally rebuilding. We'll have representatives that can speak to the tax credits for rebuilding with energy efficiency, and so we welcome the entire public, and I can provide an email with more information.
Great. Thank you for that information. Next up is Vice Mayor Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing to add.
Right. Well, I don't have much to add either. Tomorrow I am meeting in a Zoom conference. Is it Zoom, I think? Yeah. With the Barrier Island mayors, and we are going to collectively work together on a letter to the president. I don't know if I'm going to get my way with this, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to convince the Barrier Island mayors that we, rather than writing one letter that encompasses beach nourishment and FEMA issues, I think that they should be two separate letters. I think that if you send too much in one letter and you're asking for too much, it's going to get buried. Personally, I don't think both letters have much of a shot of being responded to, but I think both have a better opportunity of being responded to if they're sent separately. And one is FEMA, one is for the Army Corps of Engineers. So I wish that I had brought it. I will send kind of my thoughts, a letter that I constructed. I'll send it to Renee tonight, if you don't mind. Just send it out to the council in the morning. It's primarily from feedback that I got from the city manager on the FEMA issues, and the other one, which everyone knows I've really focused on beach nourishment for several years now. I think that my letter would stand well just by itself. But we'll see what the other mayors think, and we'll see how it goes. If all goes well, hey, maybe the president will come see us, and we could take him to the beach and show him why we need sand, and then walk the neighborhoods and explain to him all the issues that we've had with keeping FEMA happy while trying to get back in our homes. That's all I've got for tonight. Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
To adjourn. All right. Mr. Baker. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jody Shirley. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I didn't think so. All right. Good night, everyone.